Hey there. Are you wondering what men are all about? Do you feel like you just can't understand them? Well, that's because we're not supposed to. And it really truly is because men and women are totally different. Well, today on Moms Like Us Do Things Like This show, we are actually going to help you. What are we going to do, Amy?
Man poll. So we have polled a bunch of our buddies that are our friends' husbands, and we just asked 4 questions, and we're going to read their responses and chat through them. And that's what we're going to do.
We are.
Because men say that they don't understand us, but you know what? I don't know that we totally understand them either. So.
But I've been around them for a while, and I've studied authentic manhood and womanhood.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can give you a little bit of insight into a few things. So here we go. On Moms Like Us Do Things Like This. Okay.
Ready? All right. First
Are you ready? Are
First
you ready
question. I gotta tell you, when I read through these responses, I was laughing some, and then a little bit I was like, oh, okay. I love when my wife blank. All right. I love when my wife cooks a homemade meal.
Mm-hmm. Good.
I cooked a homemade meal last night.
Mm-hmm.
I made pork loin in the air fryer. It was amazing. It took me 3 whole minutes of my life, but it tasted like a restaurant. Butter beans and homemade mashed potatoes and crescent rolls. So fancy. But
it was potatoes. I don't know. That sounds exactly like what I'm eating.
And Kyle literally, and I cook, but it's not like that big of a plate of food usually, right? Like crock pot. And he hugged me after the meal and goes, you're crushing it in all areas of your life. And I was like, am I? Oh my gosh. Use an air fryer more. All right. Cook some
Maybe we should
meal.
Stop right there and you tell us what we're doing.
But tonight for dinner, we're having leftovers and sweet potatoes. Okay. Let me see. I love when my wife laughs really hard. Mm-hmm. That was sweet.
That's a good one.
I love when my wife gives me physical touch, grabbing my arm, holding my hand, etc. Also, you can jump in at any time.
Well, why don't you just read them all?
All right. I love when my wife starts the bed fun. I love when my wife surprises me with a hug for no reason at all. I love when my wife cares for what I care about. I love when my wife hugs me. I love when my wife laughs at the same things our kids do when we watch America's Funniest videos. It's so sweet.
What I'm hearing is, I'm hearing 2 things. The very first thing is that I'm hearing that men want to hear you. That was in a couple of them.
It was in a couple of them.
I
yeah.
think my husband would say that too.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason for that. The reason men want to hear you laugh is because they really want to see you smile. And it is the secret above secrets. I've told you this before, but if there's one thing that the thing that men want most, you're going to think it's the other one I'm going to talk about, but it truly is. The thing that men want most is to see their women smile and to know that they are the reason they're smiling. Mm-hmm. And so when you laugh at my jokes, you laugh at the same things that I'm laughing at. You like to do the same things I like to do, which brings enjoyment to them. That means that you are enjoying them. Now, this is nothing that should shock you because, girl, you did it from the very first moment you saw him. Like, how did you get his attention? I found out that a man requires 7 at this point in time. A man requires 7 eye contacts that are smiling and pleasant for them to even think that you're interested in them. So you must have done 7. And the thing is that the first thing that they see is you smile. It may not be the first thing they notice, but it is the first thing that will truly get their attention. And then they're like, it's because you're smiling. And they are the reason that you are. The other day, we were riding in the car and we stopped at a light and I looked over at my husband and I kind of laughed and he was turning his head back to look forward and he immediately turned his head back to me. And I said, oh, made you look. And he goes, oh, baby, I'll always look when you laugh. And so this truly is one that is really good.
So I was listening to this interview the other day and it was kind of like talk show style. And it was several men and they were interviewing this one guy. And he's a movie star, right? Big time movie star. If I mentioned him, everyone knows who he is. And they said, what are your favorite times when you're on set? Okay. And he's been in blockbuster TV shows, movies, all that. He goes, my favorite time when I'm on set is when I have a few minutes of downtime and I check my phone and my wife tells me a funny story or sends me a funny picture and I know everything's going good back home. And you're like, what? That's he's like, because if she texts me that everything's chaotic, it's like I can't even get in my character. I can't even get in my scene. I can't enjoy where I am because I know nothing's good with the people I actually care about. It's like, well, if he feels that way, how much more so does my husband, who actually really, yeah, huh?
And this goes back to the one of the courses that is inside of the academy, and I occasionally teach it outside of the academy. So if you are interested in it, be watching for that, or DM us or let us know that you're interested in it. But it's authentic womanhood, and in there we talk about authentic womanhood and authentic manhood, and the 4 things that men are created to do and really make them feel like men is to lead, feed, protect, and provide. And if he knows that you're home and everything is right, then he knows that he has fulfilled those 4 things and that you're happy, which makes him smile because he wants to provide that for you.
Okay. Lead, feed,
protect, and provide.
Okay.
Yeah.
My home, here's the next question.
Wait a minute. We didn't go there. He wants physical touch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's probably going to be a thread.
We can probably hit that on the next couple ones. It's mentioned a few times.
Okay, let's go. Let's go.
My home runs smoothly when my wife is relaxed. Does that make anyone else feel really sad that they're not relaxed all the time?
Or that they think that you're uptight.
Right. Or that the house is, I don't know. I feel like this weekend there were 1 or 2 moments where Benjamin was sick, Eva had a book report, Isaac had sports. Like, I don't know that I was relaxed on Saturday afternoon, and you're not supposed to fake it till you make it, right? He's your husband. You're going to be honest with him. You have an actual life together. It's not this Stepford wife. I'm completely relaxed.
Yeah, we get enough of that on Instagram.
Yeah. But to go, hey, underneath it all, we're going to be okay. I'm fine. All right. My home runs smoothly when my wife is able to do her self-care. Hey, and I'm glad I did this anonymously, but I'm curious which husband wrote that.
I wonder if they wrote it.
Oh, I wrote it. Okay.
She tweeted.
My home runs smoothly when my wife gets massages every week. Like, no. Okay. My home runs smoothly when my wife is around. My home runs smoothly when my wife has our children actively listening and our house is tidy. My home runs smoothly when my wife finds time to put the chaos of family life aside and make love to me. That's where you want to come in a minute.
Okay.
My home runs smoothly when my wife feels she can openly communicate. My home runs smoothly when my wife keeps us on the weekly agenda. My home runs smoothly when my wife is well rested. My home runs smoothly when my wife gets a good strong cup of coffee first thing in the morning. Last one. My home runs smoothly when my wife feels supported by me helping out with the household chores.
It sounds like he's learned that lesson. Men don't usually get that without, but that's good.
Yeah,
she obviously communicated it to him, and that's really, really good. What I'm seeing here is I'm seeing the cup of coffee, the self-care, the helping
well rested, relaxed.
Those
were half of the answers.
Yeah. And it seems to me that those men had wives that communicated those needs. Because how would a man know that that is something?
Yeah.
How would they know unless we communicated? Yeah. So communicating to your husband is one of the ways that you are going to be able to have a happy man.
And it says when your home runs smoothly, like he realizes actually my home is running smoother when I'm listening to her and I let her whatever, like not let her, but I encourage her. Hey, you said 2 times today you wanted to get out of the house and go for a walk. Go. When I encourage her to do her self-care, because sometimes for me, it's hard for me to stop doing all the things that I'm doing because I know if I don't do them today, I have to do them tomorrow. It's not like they go away. And Kyle, sometimes
they come back.
Yeah. And sometimes Kyle, like literally on Sunday afternoon, he said, I want you to go for a 30-minute walk. You have not stopped today and it's Sunday. I was like, okay.
But he didn't say, I want you to go upstairs and read a good book. because you communicated to him at some point that
A walk is good.
and here, I'm going to give you just one little thing. And a man doesn't want to hear what he's not doing. What he wants to hear is what you feel like when he does something, a thing.
Say that one more time.
A man doesn't, what did I say?
No, what day is it? A man doesn't want you to tell him what he's not doing.
He wants you to tell him how you feel when he's doing something.
Something right.
A thing. No, not even something right. He may not be doing it right. He may not be doing it at all. So for instance, let's just use taking the garbage out. That's kind of like, that can sometimes be a big thing. He can see it's full. Why doesn't he just take it out? I mean, it's garbage. It's kind of a guy's thing anyways. Why can't he just take it out?
Right.
And the point is that you haven't communicated to him unless you've communicated negatively, which
Why doesn't the trash take it out?
Yeah, that makes him feel bad. So we need to appeal to this lead, feed, protect, and provide. And we appeal to that by saying, not at the moment that is going on, but later, I feel really seen. And I know that you care about the fact that I'm working really hard. Like, for instance, when I'm doing the dishes and everything's a mess and the garbage is overflowing and you just take the garbage out without me even saying anything. I feel so good that you see how hard I'm working. And I don't want to nag you about that. And you will see him take the garbage out. And when he does, I want you to DM me because it works. If you tell him what it makes you feel like when he does a certain thing, then he is going to respond in a decent way. Another thing is to give him an analogy. That's like if you're having an argument and you're not able to communicate your feelings or your emotions.
Maybe it's a good sports analogy.
Oh, absolutely. Something they can see because men are visual. And so I have another teaching on that, which is in the academy. I didn't say it, but it's in the academy.
These are all just teasers for y'all. All right, let's see. Next question. How are we doing on time? We're doing okay?
Yep.
I feel respected when my wife lets me watch football, which I think the "lets me" is like an interesting phrasing.
That's
right?
I don't want to talk about that.
Like that feels like you're not my kid. I'm not letting you.
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
That's why I kind of don't want to. I don't want to ruin
I
don't want to ruin your
we'll just put it there.
podcast here.
Okay. I feel respected when my wife listens to me without distractions. I feel respected in the same way, right? I feel respected when my wife listens to me and respects my opinions, even when we disagree. I feel respected when my wife, this one made me giggle, understands that as a man, I want to do different things in life than sip tea with her.
Okay, keep on going because I think I'm seeing
I feel respected when my wife takes the kids and gives me time to myself. I feel respected when my wife encourages and supports me, gives me time to recharge my introvert batteries. I feel respected when my wife compliments me in front of our kids. I feel respected when my wife speaks my love language. Last one, I feel respected when my wife consults with me before agreeing to things and looks to me for guidance.
Whoa, that's huge. That's leading. That's a big one. That's leading.
But I feel respected when my wife wants me to take that role. Like,
yeah, I'm loving these.
Okay.
The very last one was she lets me lead and at least cares what I'm doing, like includes me into the decisions of the family. And the other ones were all let me's. They were all let me's. She lets me, or she's running it and allows me, or
listens to me, encourages me.
Listens to me and encourages me means that she's understanding that I need to do something with my friends, that I need to watch that thing. The love language one is the only one that doesn't match that. But I think as women, one of the, I have a series on this, is motherhood messing up your marriage. And one part of that is that we have a tendency, because we are running everything in the home, like we're the CEOs, but we're not really the CEOs. we're really the COOs. We're the chief of operations. And together with our husbands, we are the executive officers. But really, our main thing that we're doing when they're doing what they're doing is COO. But we have a tendency to, because we're doing all of that, to then start treating him like that. And it's
Like he's one of our employees.
like he's one of the kids. I mean,
Like
let's
he's
just
one of the
say
kids, yeah.
like he's one
Yeah.
of the kids. And he's not smart enough. And oh my gosh, you know, I can't believe you didn't see the trash. Like, that is so insulting.
Yeah.
If you came in my house and
Well, if he
spilled
did,
a candle on my
no,
floor,
if
when
Kyle did that to me, if it was reversed and Kyle came in the house and goes, do you not see that the trash is full? I would be like, do you not see that I'm doing these 10 other things over here? I would immediately feel defensive,
Yes.
belittled. Do you not
Yes.
see the good things that I'm doing? If
Yes.
I just turned it, right?
Yes.
I mean,
yes. And even that, even say, you know, using his terms, like, I feel really respected
right.
when you compliment me. I
Mhm.
feel respected. He understands what respect is. He needs it more than you do, but using that term helps him know that you kind of like, oh, she wants to be respected. She wants me to say nice things to her. It's like, yes, I want you to say nice things to me. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, the make love to me was on that one.
What does it say? Let me find it again. Da, da, da.
Well, I don't think we
Well,
need, we
maybe
need
it
the
was
exact-
on a different one.
well, I don't think we need that. Okay, I don't think it's in all of them, so we don't need these.
Well, because at the end of the day,
Mhm.
we are in a relationship together. It isn't just, okay, for these 15, 18 years while we have kids at home, they are the focus. Kyle and I literally, we had a conversation this morning because Isaac has been asked to be in another basketball league. So that would be at the same time, 2 basketball leagues and 2 baseball leagues. He's 9. We're not. We're no. But out of my mouth, I said, I want to raise a young man who sees that dinner is important. So one day when he has a job, he doesn't take on everything that he can possibly do and go, well, but my family, like, it's more important that my needs are met of baseball than my needs are met at my job, then it's about the family. It can't all be about him, because that raises a little boy that turns into a man that thinks it's only about him.
I think that's narcissism.
All right, last question. Here we go.
And then we're going to do a little, I am going to talk to you a little bit about your romantic life, because why not?
Yeah.
But that'll be at the
All
end.
right. One thing we wish women knew about men. All right. These are gold.
These are
These
gold.
are gold.
These are gold.
I
Listen
will
up. Get
not
your
lie,
pencil.
I've read these 2 or 3 times. Like, these are gold. It makes me just wish that we did this. Let's do this every Valentine's with a different group of men.
Oh, that's a great
I just
idea.
think these are gold. Okay. One thing we wish women knew about men. Just because we're quiet doesn't mean we're mad. I think I need to like put that in calligraphy somewhere in my bathroom. One thing we wish women knew about, oh, and I'll say too, we didn't poll our husbands.
No.
And we didn't do
Nope.
that. We didn't do that because I didn't want to look at every question and be like, Cal wrote that. Cal wrote that. All right. One thing we wish women knew about men. Men enjoy a simple lifestyle. One thing we wish women knew about men, we have a never-ending need to know that we're doing a good job, whether in work or family matters, either as boys or men. We want to know if we're good enough, and we want to know if we have what it takes. One thing we wish women knew about men, I would prefer you to take the lead sometimes and get some things done without me. I get that. I mean, when it comes to like, is Eva going to do a dance class here or there? He doesn't, that's not a high level executive. I don't have to, you know, okay. One thing we wish women knew about men, we care more than we verbalize. We need specific and clear communication. Sometimes we like doing stupid things with our friends. One thing we wish women knew about men, most of us are simple and not overthinkers. We're not mind readers. We like a direct approach. If something needs to get done, we understand we need to be proactive, but direct requests for help is the language that we all speak.
Did y'all hear that? I just talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
They want to have it direct. They want to hear it direct. when you're talking to a man, and I think that this again is it goes back to this authentic manhood, how God created men. And we can, yes, there are some women that are like that. Yes, there are some men that prefer this, but in our roles, God created men for a purpose. Our jobs are how you make those roles come out into your real life. So in our house, my role is wife, his role is husband, and the job of taking out the garbage is the husband's. And anything that is outside of the door jamb is Warren's responsibility. Inside the door jamb is my responsibility. Now that's kind of just how it worked out, but we like it that way. Another thing is that we did to make things clear is when I would spend money, he would go, "What did you do that for?" I'm like, "Well, we needed it." So we made a deal, and you'll just get better at this as you go, because you'll solve these problems will come up and you will just work through them together. And we made a deal that there's a certain set amount of money that I would not go over.
Yeah, we did that too.
Then unless I mentioned it to him.
And
Same thing with the
both
kids.
ways. I'm like, no, you
Yes.
don't. You don't.
They go, truly,
It's
especially
nice.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, my man. I get all the Christmas presents bought, and the man comes, says, "Let's go to the mall and experience Christmas." And he buys all dad gifts. And we call them dad gifts because this year everybody got the beanie with the light on the front of it.
Funny.
Yeah, everybody got one of those. But sometimes it's a computer for one of the kids. And it's just the way it is, and the kids love it. But we made that arrangement, and it changed. Like, it was $50 when we first got married, and now I think we're up to 500. I don't spend more than 500 that I don't at least run it by him. And same for our schedules.
Yeah, I think schedules and money are probably two of the biggest.
Yeah.
Right?
So I never made any arrangements in the evening or on the weekends that I didn't run it by Warren. And that meant for the kids, or like you're doing with this, another basketball league or whatever. So that makes it really, really good. Another thing that I think that women have a tendency to do.
I do these. These are so good.
Okay.
Because the actual teaching is in the academy. She's wanting to do like the teaching, but this is the podcast. This is the podcast. Okay, I'll do this. This is so
Okay.
good.
All righty. We're going to end this portion of the podcast, and we're going to do part 2. We're going to take a drink, and I am going to do part 2, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about understanding men.
I love it.
So
how unexpected for me.
okay, here we go. Okay.
All right, let's hear it.
All right, we are back. We are doing part 2 of Man Poll. We got 10 men or more, and we got answers to questions that are man questions. And in part 1, we gave all the answers, and I did you some talking on it, teaching on it. And now I'm going to tell you something about men.
Do you want me to reread some of the one thing we wish women knew?
Yeah, because they can. This is the one that sparked.
You need to read part. You need to read part. You need to listen to part 1. Yeah. But this is just a refresher in case you listened to it like a week ago, right? One thing we wish women knew about men: just because we're quiet doesn't mean we're mad. Men enjoy a simple lifestyle. If you have little boys, this one kind of like gets me in my throat a little bit when I read this one. We have a never-ending need to know that we're doing a good job, whether in work or family matters, either as boys or men. We want to know if we're good enough and that we have what it takes. One thing we wish women knew about men: we're physical creatures who love to love our wives every chance we get, not just every few months when she's in the mood.
I think that says some.
One thing we wish women knew about men: we need specific and clear communication. We care more than we verbalize. We like doing stupid things with our friends. And then the last one: most of us are simple and not overthinkers. We're not mind readers. We like a direct approach if something needs to get done. We understand we need to be proactive, but direct request for us is the language that we speak.
Okay. Those are so good. You might want to rewind quickly. Men are not simple-minded. And women have a tendency to think that just because we can do things and we can multitask, which in case you didn't know, this is the way God created us so that we could have children. We could be cooking on the stove. We could go out and gather things in the field. You've heard it, we're berry pickers. We pick berries and we've got to hunt for them and bring them in and wash them off and then make them into something. Men are hunters. They're direct. They know what they're doing. They act quickly. They're single focused so that when they have to go out.
One deer,
there's a deer, shoot the deer.
No, that's so, yeah.
It is the
I
way
wish
God. And
you would have told me that when we got married 15 years ago.
I probably did. I told you a lot. You're good at it. You're good. You're good.
Work in progress.
No, you're good. And they are not simple. As women, I learned this from Allison Armstrong. She's amazing. She said that women treat men like they are women misbehaving badly.
Or women that don't know as much. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, and they're misbehaving. Like you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yikes.
That's the way we're treating men.
Yikes.
We're treating them like women that aren't doing it right. And we're just got to let them know. And I can't believe it. In other words, men are not like women. And we really need to start finding out what they're like and learning it. And when you do, it opens up so much. She also taught me about frog farming. That'll have to be on another teaching for sure. But here's the thing. Men are focus driven. If your husband is on his phone, he may hear you, but he's not going to hear you as well as if you just wait a minute, or you say, when you're done with that, I'd like to tell you something. So he knows like you actually want something. Because what does a man want to do? He wants to lead, feed, protect, and provide. I don't know if you don't get this, but all those things have to do with you. They have to do with you as a woman, as children, as a home. A man feels so wonderful and he feels so much like a man. Not when you're having I guess I could say sex. You're not having that when you're having sex with him, but when he is seeing that he is meeting your needs and your pleasure is coming back at him. So when we withhold from them our smiles, our adoration, our
yeah, because in the previous questions it was, I love when she laughs out loud. I love when she compliments me. I love
it was just love. I love when she talks to me in my love language, because then he understands it. When I read through these, they were really, really funny, but all I saw was men that wanted to please their women.
Yeah.
Now the one about going out and doing fun things with their boyfriend, with their buddies, I think that was almost like, that was another one, let me. He shouldn't have to ask for permission to go have fun with his friends.
Yeah, but I will say, if they say, hey honey, I wanted to go throw the football, I don't know, whatever. Kyle would be like, I want to go do this like outdoor fitness class on Saturday morning at 10. I'd say, oh my gosh, that's actually at the exact time that Eva has a soccer game. He's like, oh, I had it in my calendar at 8. Okay, well, thanks for letting me know. I'll reschedule.
Yeah.
So I think there's something to that where maybe.
Yeah. I don't mean it that they don't have to ask.
No,
I mean that it's still that she's going to decide whether I get to fulfill this or not.
And maybe it's the way that we respond to that. Like,
absolutely.
Like, are you kidding me? You would schedule something on Saturday morning. That's when the kids don't have school. And then it just kind of.
And then it's like, well, I'm never going to do that.
She doesn't let me do anything. I think that's where the let me comes in, because it's then they see us as people that are a barrier to their leisure or like, I don't know.
And it says when we're this one. Oh. First, let me tell this one. Men are, when they're quiet, and then this will make sense. When men are quiet, they're processing inside. And I know that there are personalities that process outside, but still, as a man that even processes outside, he is thinking inside. And we as multitaskers can also multi-think. We can have four conversations on the phone, Amy and I can, and then you go in the grocery store and we flip, and then we get back in the car and we're on that same conversation. Men aren't like that. It doesn't mean they're not good at it because they're not women. So yeah, like you're not good at this. Men take offense when we say you can't do what I can do. They take offense at that.
Too,
You
right?
would too.
We take offense too. There are a couple
If they
times,
say it.
there's a couple of times that I've gone, whoa. You're talking to me like you talk to one of your guy friends.
Yep.
I need you to like give me a couple more details when you're talking about that trip, you know?
Absolutely. And sometimes not sometimes, I would say every 6 months or so, I have to remind Warren, I'm not one of your employees. I'm actually the woman you sleep with, and you might want her to be happy today.
We chat differently.
So
All
like, okay, so a man, and then this one is really good. Men have because of those 4 things, lead, feed, protect, and provide, men have an innate need to know they're doing a good job. This doesn't mean, it goes back to the love languages where you're going to verbally tell them, because it may be one of those other lines, you're going to do it through a love language, but they have an innate need to know they're going to doing a good job. And since you've listened to podcast number 1, part 1, and now you're listening to part 2, I think you get it. They need to know that those 4 things are being fulfilled. And if they're fulfilled, then they're going to feel good about their masculinity. The masculinity is under attack. It's not just, oh, they're male chauvinists and we've got to rein them in and make them do right. And men just, you know, whatever women say about men. And that we're just here to domesticate them, basically. We don't want to domesticate our men. We kind of want our men. Jordan Peterson says a true man is one that is dangerous, and he's dangerous, but he doesn't act on it. And it basically says a man is strong, he's capable, he's a provider. You don't have to worry because your greatest need is to feel secure and to be loved and to be secure in his love. That he will be there, that he will protect you, that he's not going to leave you. That is a woman's greatest need. And isn't it interesting that that's exactly how God created it, that a man wants to give that and a woman really needs to receive it. So hearing good job helps them find their worth and says, I've got what it takes, because look at her. She's flourishing. And the things she's not good at, she's really trying. And she listens when I want to tell her something. And she really lets me finish what I'm doing before she comes at me with all these different things. She respects that I'm busy. And respect is a big deal. This is a whole teaching. Again, it's in the Moms Like Us Academy. And I teach it outside of it every once in a while. So keep an eye out for that.
I think this too, the simple and direct approach.
Yes. Is always best.
Passive aggressive is really just aggressive. It's really just aggressive. There's nothing
Thank you.
passive about it.
No.
Like, can we just say
And
that?
they don't think it's passive. They can see
Yeah.
it. It's like, it's a mystery. You're not talking to him. It's a mystery. You turn your head and
Can you believe the trash is still there? Like, I can't.
like, oh my gosh, it's trash thing so much. No. And even if the trash is there and you can't wait to talk to him later, to be able to go over to him and say, babe, I love your muscles. I wish they were taking the trash out right now. So I would love it so much. Right? Telling him that his body is pleasing to you and not just, you know.
Okay, that was one that I actually didn't read. Someone wrote, I love when my wife compliments my muscles.
Yeah. Because I love
when Kyle tells me
I
he can
compliment
tell
him.
I've been working out. I'm like, you can?
Yeah, but he's
'Cause I read
probably
the same
he's
thing.
probably thinking she's hot, she's soft, she's curvy, like there's nothing with your hard muscles. FYI.
Oh, I didn't, you know.
Well, you could ask him, but I would guess. So the whole point is that really to love your man well is to be able to fulfill his deepest needs. And you're going to have to learn what they are. And I'm going to give you a little hint up front. They aren't yours. And they aren't like you, and they aren't like a woman would want. Men are not women misbehaving poorly. They're men. And when men have women that are kind of not making them feel like that, do you know what they do, sweetheart? They shut down. And it's not just that they're quiet, it's that they have to protect themselves and they're indifferent. And I get a little bit of a thing in my throat because, like Amy, I'm thinking of my sons. And I don't want the thought of one of my daughter-in-laws like emasculating one of my boys or down talking to him or treating him poorly breaks my heart. I have amazing daughter-in-laws that truly respect their husbands and know how to love them well. But I'm sure, as we all are, imperfect that we are, they say things that aren't really great to them or hurt them or are too tired to do what they need to do. And in those moments, I hope that I've taught my sons enough about women that they will be able to see that and minister to their wives, because that's what it's all about. It's about ministering to one another. Your first ministry is to your husband. And as moms, like in the moms, is marriage messing up your mother, is motherhood messing up your marriage series, just like in that series. We tend to be moms and forget to turn it off. And now I'm going to get to the part that we've been waiting for. I want you to really pay attention to loving your husband well and making love to him, not just having sex. I mean, you know, cookies and all that, that's awesome. But to truly make love to him. And I want you to know that that happens not just in the bedroom, but when he feels loved and you're making him feel loved, then that is when he's truly going to flourish. He's truly going to flourish, because you know what he's going to say? Everybody else out there treats me wrong. I have to work like crazy. I have to till the soil.
Work for approval.
Work for approval. It is the curse. They are walking in the curse, and we are ignoring that. We are ignoring that. We act like they are out there having coffee and having a good time. The enemy is making sure that they're not having a good time, and they're toiling. And we have the ability for them to walk in that door at night and to shut it and say, world can't get me in here. Can't get me. My girl's here. My kids are here. My home is here. I'm providing for my family, and people are smiling and they are happy because even when
I'm doing a good job,
because I'm doing a job, I have what it takes.
yeah.
And it's been said that you will see how good of a, unfortunately, it was a feminist that said, you will see how good a man is when you see the countenance of his wife's face. In other words, if the woman's happy, then that's all that matters. But honestly, it goes both ways. When you see a man that is confident and feels really good about being himself, being a man, even when he goes through hard things, you will know that he has the loving support and a woman that is literally making love to him all the time. I have my heart is to help you win at this. The enemy's after our homes, our children, our marriages, and us. And he's starting with us because we're the women, and we can mess this up big time. We're not the only factor, but today we're talking about us and what our men need. And we can take some of the enemy's arrows and break them and throw them away and make them ineffective. We can, because when it gets down right to it, the family is ground zero, and it's under attack. It's not under attack anymore. This is a war, and the destruction is happening, and it's time to rebuild. It is time to rebuild. And yes, for the very last thing that I'm going to say is, yes, please make physical love to your husband as often as you can, and learn how. And if you don't know how, then get a hold of an older woman or DM me or someone like me that will help you be able to turn off that switch, because it is really, it's to your benefit. I wrote an article one time. Actually, I gave a lecture on The 7 things, the 7 reasons, physical reasons why a woman should make love when she doesn't want to, when you should say yes, when you want to say no. It's excellent. And it's scientific.
Do you still have it?
Of course I do.
Well, then DM Mona and
We'll give it to you.
we'll give it to you.
Another thing that I have is 41 text messages.
But that's in the academy.
No, they can get it online. You can
On
get
where?
that on Instagram, and the link is in the bio.
Well, there you go.
And it is, you just sign it up and send me your email, and I send you 41 texts to rock his day. Those are mine. It's ones I use, and he gets them. And it's a year or 2 old. I have some, I should do an updated version, but they're all not just, they fulfill all the things that we've been talking about today. And yeah, I would tell you one of them, but you might blush.
I would. I'm a blusher.
So truly, make love to your husband throughout his days, and making him feel like a man, and make love to him as a woman would make love to a man, because it's good for you. It's good for your marriage. It builds intimacy. It really does make him think that he does have what it takes to make you have pleasure and feel good. Smile often. Smile often, because it is in your smile that he is measuring who he is. And pray for him. Pray for your man. As you can tell, I could talk about this all day.
Well, and you want to end it?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
probably need to.
Well, so when when I messaged people, we're going to do this poll, they were writing back just like that. Because I think sometimes we think, well, we need the self-care. Well, we need him to understand us. We need. And it was so eye-opening to me that these dudes, right, took 5 minutes to do this quickly. They were like, oh yeah, we for sure. So I think it's easy for us to go, well, they're quiet. Well, we're the ones who have got the small kids plus the side hustle plus the whatever, but they have needs too. And they're different than ours, like Mona's been saying. And yeah, thank you all for being here today.
Yeah. Join the Academy. I'm going to be doing a deeper talk on.
Because you're the expert this month. Every
I am an
month
expert.
there's a expert that we take what we were doing in the podcast and they go deeper with homework and resources. And this month Mona is the expert. And so what we talked about today, we're going to go a step deeper, right?
We are. And the Academy is a really good place to actually learn it. A podcast is just to kind of get you like, oh yeah, I like that. I like that. Even a download is really fun to get you going a little bit. But if you want to really crush it at motherhood, then get some help teaching it from women who've been there and done that. You've done this your whole life. You've learned things, but you're going to learn them from like learning them. Motherhood is not a natural talent. Being a wife isn't either. But it is a skill and we can learn it. And I hope that you have learned some things today on Moms Like Us do things like this, because truly, moms like us.
We wear matching sweaters and we do things like this.
We really do things like this. Bye for now.